Okay, guys, let's recap. What do we know so far about regression? We have a relationship between an explanatory variable and a response variable. And we can plot that relationship, and you can see that with the blue dots here. We can describe that relationship by using SUDs, okay? Talking about the strength, if there's anything unexpected, the shape, and the direction of the graph, okay? Then what we can do is we can find a least squares regression line that models what is happening with that data. And we use that line for prediction. We can interpret the slope, we can interpret the y-intercept, and we can talk about when we're extrapolating and why that's not okay. What else can we do? We can also talk about a potential outlier in the relationship. And is it influential? Meaning, does it change the correlation? Okay, does it change the slope, the y-intercept? Or does it have leverage? Meaning how far, or is it an extreme x value? Okay, now what we can talk about next is something called residuals. What are the residuals? The residuals are the difference between the observed y value, what happened, okay? Here's the observed y value, and the predicted y value, okay? What happened on the point. So if I would use 2.9 as my x value, and I'd plug it into the regression line, this point right here, that would be the predicted y value. But maybe that didn't happen. Maybe in actuality, an observed y value happened instead. The difference, that's our residual. So I want to show you how to find that residual right now, because you are expected to find that difference and know how to find that difference. So our example is here, find and interpret the residual for a mixer that weighs 25 pounds and costs $300. So this equation is based off what we've been doing in the previous videos, okay? We have y hat is equal to negative 20.711 plus 12.533x. Our goal right now is to find the residual for a mixer that weighs 25 pounds and costs 300. So step one, okay, step one, to find a residual, take the given x value and plug into the least squares regression line to get the predicted y. Okay, what is our x value? We've already established that the weight was the explanatory variable that is influencing the cost. So we take this 25 right now and we plug that into x. So let's all stop and do that now. Okay, when I did that, I got 292.614, and this should be a y hat, excuse me. Step one, take the given x value, plug it into the equation. What this gives us is the predicted y. Step two, find the observed y given in the problem or the table. We have our observed y given in the problem. Find and interpret a residual for a mixer that weighs 25 pounds and costs 300. This right here is our observed. That's what actually happened. Now, sometimes it doesn't give it to you in the problem, so you have to go back to the table and find that, okay? 25 pounds, 300. All right. Oops, too far. Okay. Our observed then is y, and that's equal to 300. Step three, find the residual. And the residual's formula is y minus y hat. It is our observed minus our predicted. So let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, so we took that observed minus the predicted to get 7.386. That's the value of our residual. Step one, step two, step three. Now again, you'll have to interpret what that residual means. What does that mean? Well, look, we predicted, right? We predicted that mixer to be approximately $292.61. It was actually $300 though. What does that mean? We underpredicted, right? We were off by about $7.39. Okay, right? We were off by about $7.39. So here's our interpretation. The residual for a mixer that weighs 25 pounds is 7.386. The line underpredicted, or you could put the least squares regression line or the model, okay? The line underpredicted, the Y value by approximately $7.39. And I should put actually not the Y value, but in context, what is our Y value? The cost by approximately $7.39. Please use this template anytime you're asked to interpret the residual. So what did I say first? I talked about what the residual is. The residual for in context, this is my X, what happened? I plugged in 25, it was a mixer that weighed 25 pounds. I talked about the value of the residual. Then I talk about, does it underpredict or overpredict? The line underpredicted. How did I know? Again, I look and I say, hey, this is what the predicted was. This was the actual value. I underpredicted. In fact, anytime you guys, we have a positive residual, our line is going to underpredict what happens. Anytime we have a negative residual, our line will overpredict. I would write that down. A negative residual means the line overpredicts. A positive residual means the line underpredicts. Okay. All right, again, when we interpret, just know this is my X, what happened, what I plugged in context. This right here is the value of the residual. Then I talk about if it underpredicted, this right here is the Y variable, the cost, by approximately, here's my residual in context. We're done. You should feel comfortable. How do we calculate a residual? Good to go.